Welcome back, everyone. Today I'm going to show you how to make a vanilla sauce bread pudding. Now, Father's Day is coming up, and that's what Thomas wants. He requested either a custard pie or a bread pudding. I chose the bread pudding. It's got the bread in it. It absorbs that liquidy, custardy, eggy filling, and then you top the whole thing off with a delicious vanilla sauce. All right, all you need is the bread, some pantry ingredients to pull this whole thing together. Let's talk about the bread. I'm using a French loaf. I just picked this up from my local Walmart. It was in their fresh bakery section there. Look at that. It looks really delicious. And it's very fresh, which means it's squishy. And we don't really want that for the bread pudding. We want to make sure that the bread is dried out. Now, you can use lots of different versions of bread. You can use white bread, you can use the French bread, you can use brioche, whatever you got, okay? You just want to make sure it's kind of a white loaf. I'm going to cut these into cubes because it is very fresh, and then we're going to dry these out in the oven just so that they can absorb the liquid and not be kind of gummy in your dessert. All right, you guys, let's go ahead. You're going to want about 5 to 6 cups of cubed bread. And I'm just going to start at one end, work my way down to the other. I've got a measuring cup out here so that I can make sure that I have exactly 5 to 6 cups so we don't have too much. Because whatever we have left, we can use for anything else that you want. So we're just going to start down here. We're going to use it. Don't take off the edges to your bread. This is where you're going to want all of that right there. You're going to want 1-inch pieces. That'll give it a nice texture to the bread pudding. Now I'm just going to stack them on top of each other. Cut through. Don't squish too much, okay? And then we'll just cut through, making our little cubes. There we go. Look at that. Now when you measure it out, just put it into your measuring cup. We'll give it a good squish a little bit. All right, that's 4 cups right there, and then I'm going to cut up just a few more pieces of that to get about half of this to get the other 2 cups to make my 6 cups of the dice cubes. Now I've taken a large sheet pan and I just put a piece of parchment on it, and we'll take the cubed bread and we'll place it on there. We want to air these out. We'll move these around until we get a single layer, and then we'll add the other ones, and then I'm going to show you what we're going to do. Now I've got my oven preheated at 250 degrees, and we're going to dry these out for about 30 to 45 minutes. That will really help in getting these to absorb that custard mixture that we're going to make. So make sure you do that. We've got a single layer of our bread cubes here. I'll be back in 30 to 45 minutes and show you the next step. You know what it's going to be. We got to make that custard. And then we've got to make a delicious vanilla sauce to top it all off with. All right, I've taken the bread out of the oven about 10 minutes early because they're pretty dried out, nice and crunchy. Just cooling these down for just a minute. Now in my baking dish, which is about a 9 by 13, I'm just taking a pastry brush, 1 tablespoon of butter, and I'm just going to make sure that gets all over the baking dish. Make sure you coat it well. All right, now what we're going to do is take our dried out bread cubes and we're going to place them into the casserole dish. I'm going to be in a medium skillet, and to make our custard, I am going to place 1/4 cup of butter into our medium saucepan, and we're going to put it over medium heat. And then to that, we're going to add in 2 cups of milk. We're going to let this come to a simmer. We want that butter to melt and mix in with the milk. You want it nice and simmered. Takes about 4 to 5 minutes to get to that stage. And once it's been about 4 to 5 minutes and your butter has melted into the milk and we have a nice simmer along the edges of the milk here, we're going to turn off the burner and then we're going to pour this all over the bread. Yep, we're going to saturate the bread, get it nice and wet in the liquid here. We're going to let it sit for about 5 minutes till we make the other part of the custard base. Now I'm going to push the bread into the liquid. All right, let's make the other part. While the bread is soaking, we're going to make that second part of the custard. I've got 2 eggs that I've beaten in just a small bowl, and we're going to add that to kind of a medium bowl here, and then we're going to make everything right in here. There we go. This is a different way to make bread pudding. It's got different layers to it. We're going to add in 1/2 cup of white granulated sugar. Now, if you want to make this more rich, you can put in 1/2 cup of brown sugar instead of the white sugar. And then we've got to give it some vanilla flavor right there. 1 tablespoon. Yeah, fill it up. And then we're going to shake in some ground cinnamon. Oh, Thomas is going to love that. 1/2 teaspoon to a teaspoon, whatever you like. And then we're going to put in a little pinch of some ground nutmeg. Oh, that smells good. All right, I'm going to take my fork back from where I did the eggs. Then we'll just mix this together. And then what I like to do before it's all said and done, pinch of salt. I'm doing this separate because we didn't want to put in the hot milk and butter. It'll scramble your eggs. All right, let's bring over our bread. Nice and soaked. What we're going to do is pour this over it. Get all of it out of there. It's all goodness. Now what we're going to do is move this stuff around. Stir it up. There we go. Back down into a single layer. I don't like to smash it down, but kind of pick it up a little bit, give it some texture. That's it, you guys. Except for that vanilla sauce we're going to make when this is all said and done. I've got my oven preheated at 350 degrees. We're going to bake this for about 45 minutes to an hour. You want it to be nice and crispy on the edges, and you want your bread pudding to absorb the liquid and be nice and plump and have a good texture to it. You can take a toothpick and insert it and just make sure it's not wet too much on the inside of your bread pudding bread cubes there. All right. And then once it comes out of the oven, we're just going to cool it down for 10 minutes. And then in that process of the 10 minutes, we are going to make that vanilla sauce. That vanilla sauce to pour over this bread pudding. All right, you guys, I'll be back. All right, I've just pulled this out of the oven. Look at how beautiful that looks. The bread puffed up with all that liquid. It's nice and firm in the center. Nice and golden brown across the top. We're going to let this rest for about 10 minutes. And in the meantime, while it is resting, we are going to make that delicious vanilla sauce that'll take it to another level. Now to make the sauce, we're going to just be in a medium saucepan. We're going to add in the ingredients, and then we're going to just bring it to a boil until it thickens, and then that's going to be the sauce. Now the first thing that we're going to add is 1 stick of butter. I just cubed it, make it easier to melt into our sauce there. Now I'm not going to turn on the burner until I get everything into my pot here. And then we're going to add in 1/2 cup of brown sugar, packed. And then we're going to add in 1/2 cup white granulated sugar. And then we're going to add in 1/2 cup heavy whipping cream. Help thicken things up. Pinch of salt. We're going to turn this on a medium heat. And then we're going to stir this every so often till it's all combined. The butter has melted, and this will take about 4 to 7 minutes to get this going. Now, you should reach a full boil, and then it should start thickening up. And once you get to that, you're going to turn off the burner. Now, this is a vanilla sauce, so we are going to take and stir in 1 tablespoon of vanilla extract. And just stir it in. It's going to smell very fragrant, rich, with that aroma from the vanilla in there. I'm going to grab a spoon here. Look at that sauce. Oh, that's what we're looking for right there. It's glossy. The sugars have melted in there. Right there. Let's give that a taste. Oh my goodness. We're going to pour this over the bread pudding right now. It's going to soak on in. Take a fork, and I'm just going to kind of poke holes throughout just to kind of pull that sauce in. The best time to eat this is right now. It smells so decadent. Look at that. Vanilla sauce bread pudding. All right, you guys, I got Thomas in the kitchen to take the first bite of his vanilla sauce bread pudding for Father's Day. Look at that bite. I doubled it up. 2 layers of that. Here he is.
Yep. Here I go.
He smelled this all morning.
That is awesome.
All right, you guys, what do y'all think?
I can taste like holiday in there.
I know. That's the nutmeg and cinnamon. I know when I opened up the oven door, it smelled like the holidays too. I was like, oh my gosh. But it smells so good.
That sauce is amazing.
Yeah. I got to get my piece here so we can enjoy this. And we'll see y'all on the next episode. Don't forget to give me a thumbs up, like this video, share the video. Don't forget to hype it if you have that opportunity to. We'll see y'all on the next episode. Happy Father's Day to everyone out there celebrating. We'll see y'all on the next episode. Bye.
Bye.